A value proposition is a clear statement that explains what your product, service, or organization offers, why it matters, and why it's better or different from alternatives. It answers the customer's key question: why should I choose you? In the simple terms, a value proposition is a promise of value that you deliver to your customers, the reason that they buy from you. Now, a strong value proposition usually explains what you offer, the product, service, or experience, who is it for, your target customer or your audience, what problem it solves, the pain points or the needs that you're addressing, and what makes it unique or better or differentiates you from what's already out there. What's the advantage you give? And in the business model canvas, which we'll come to later, the value proposition sits at the center. It connects what the business offers with what the customer needs. It bridges the customer segments, who you serve, the channels, how you deliver that value, and the customer relationships, how you engage and retain your customers. Now, this image beautifully captures what I call the three lens model of innovation: desirability, feasibility, and viability. And you start with the customer, and then you design at the intersection. Every great innovation begins by starting with the customer, understanding their world, their frustrations, their aspirations. And that's the foundation of what we call human-centered design. And from there, we can explore three critical lenses to help us move from an idea to a viable solution. Desirability is, what do people desire? And this is the human lens. It asks, does anyone actually want this? And to do this, we explore the needs, the pains, the gains that our customers are looking for to ensure that our idea solves a real problem and creates genuine value and appeal. If it's not desirable, it doesn't matter how clever or profitable it is, no one's going to use it. And then we look at feasibility. What is technically and organizationally possible? This is the technical lens. It focuses on whether we can deliver the idea with the skills, the technologies, the resources that are available to us. It's about practicality. It's about scalability and capability. An idea must work in the real world, not just on paper or in our heads. And then viability is really the financial viability, the financial sustainability. It's the commercial lens, the business lens. It considers whether the idea makes financial sense. Is it sustainable? Is it affordable? Is it aligned with our strategic goals? Even if people want it and we can build it, it must be viable in the long term. So that's the overlap, and where they overlap is the sweet spot of innovations. It happens at that intersection of desirability, feasibility, and viability. And that's where solutions are wanted by people, we're able to deliver it, and we can sustain an organization. So the key message here is we start with the customer, but we design with all three lenses in clear view, because great ideas are not just imagination. They have to be desirable, feasible, and viable. And that's where true innovation lies. So we see here observe and design, and this really focuses in on that human-centered approach. It says before we design a product, service, or solution, first we have to observe our customer's world. We need to understand people deeply. We need to understand their needs, frustrations, habits, emotions, and only then can we design something that truly fits their own reality. So we start with observation. We need to have empathy, and we need to discover. We're not selling or assuming that we know. We're watching, we're listening, we're learning how customers behave in their natural environment. We watch what they do, not just what they say, and we use lots of open questions. And we look for workarounds or frustrations, because this often signals unmet needs. And we map their journey. How do they experience a problem? Because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to uncover real insights of what truly matters to them, even if they can't clearly articulate it. And we need to gain clarity. So we have a value proposition, because by observing the customers first, you uncover what really matters, their true problems, their true desires and contexts, instead of just guessing. And then we can gain clarity about the problem we're trying to solve and the value that we can offer. And from clarity often comes from curiosity, not making assumptions. And then a value proposition brings everyone together. They see and hear the customer's experiences firsthand, and they can begin to develop a shared understanding of what success looks like. So it stops arguments based on opinions and aligns everyone around evidence from real users. So it turns the opinions into insights and insights into alignment. And of course, it means we minimize the risk of creating something that nobody wants. Most startups fail because they build products and services that don't solve real problems. And observation and early testing reduce that risk so you can learn before you invest heavily, because it's cheaper to learn from a prototype than a failed launch. And then we design, test, deliver what the customers want. Once we've observed, we can design with purpose. We can test our assumptions, gather feedback, refine ideas so that we deliver something that's truly valuable and desirable. We move from what we think to what we know. And the goal is to really fit it together. We achieve this fit when we create products and services that directly help our customers' jobs, we relieve their pain, and we create some gain that they're looking for. And that's when we know that the proposition will resonate. The customer will feel was made for me. So in short, we observe the customer, we map their world, we design for purpose, and then we have real fit. I now just want to look at a concept that was created by Clayton Christensen, who wrote The Innovator's Dilemma in 2007 from MIT Sloan Management. And it's a concept called jobs to be done. And I can summarize it as follows. The more we know about customers is often taking the firm in the wrong direction. Because what we really need to home in on is on the progress that the customer is trying to make in a given circumstances. What is the customer trying to achieve? And this is when we've come to what's known as jobs to be done. And the theory is when we buy a product, we essentially hire it or purchase it to help us do a job. And if it does the job well, the next time we're confronted with the same problem, we will tend to use, consume, or hire that product again. And if it doesn't do a very good job, then we will fire it and look for an alternative. So for example, if we're drilling a hole and we hire a drill or buy a drill to do that, if it does it well, then we'll probably use the drill to do that job when we want a hole to drill, when we need to make a hole in the wall. The job to be done is the hole, and the equipment we employ to do that is a drill. And until the drill doesn't do that job well, we'll find something else to use. And Christensen said there were 3 dimensions to the jobs to be done. There's the functional job, what people need to get done. This is the practical, the task-orientated things that we're trying to accomplish. It's the core problem and probably the easiest to observe. It's rational, it's measurable, it's outcome-based. So, if we want to get to work quickly and safely, if we want to submit an assignment on time, if we want to mow the lawn, and our product and service should help complete this task more efficiently or effectively than what's already out there. But there are also social aspects to the jobs to be done. This is how we want to be seen, how we want to be perceived. And these are often about status or identity or belonging. How others see them when we use the product or service. And this is obviously related to kind of image and credibility. And it's often a little bit more subtle, but they're powerful motivators and they can influence product adoption and brand loyalty. So, for example, a business owner who wants to appear innovative or forward thinking, a teenager who uses a particular phone to fit in socially, or a professional who chooses an eco-friendly car to be seen as responsible. And your offering should support how customers want to be perceived. And then finally, there's this kind of relatable inner emotional state that customers want to achieve or possibly avoid. And this is personal and emotional jobs. How do they want to feel? And this addresses feelings, fears, aspirations. And this often drives decision making more strongly than logic. So maybe a parent wants their family to feel safe when they're in the car, or a student wants to feel confident and in control before an exam, or an entrepreneur wants to feel proud and fulfilled with the business. It's a seeking of an emotional state. It might be security, it might be exhilaration. And your solution should help customers feel better, safer, and prouder and more empowered. So, in summary, customers hire solutions not just to complete a task, but often to express identity or achieve some emotional outcomes. And the best value proposition addresses all 3 levels of this job. And maybe it may be really important to them, or maybe it might be insignificant to them. So some of it may depend on the context. So maybe think about what jobs are trying to be done when you're getting a massage, or when you're getting a haircut, or when you're buying a car. When you go to the gym, is that a functional, emotional, social job that you're trying to do there when going to university? So consider some of the jobs to be done across these three dimensions when you do all these different things, and it will bring it to life. Let's just zone in now on the customer pains. So we've looked at the jobs to be done, and when the customer's trying to do these jobs, think what pains they have, what annoys the customer. Not just when they're doing the job, but maybe before, during, and after getting the job done. What things can go wrong? What are the bad, undesired outcomes, the negative consequences that they have? Maybe if you think about functional, does the product actually work? Maybe think about social. Do I look bad when I'm doing this? Or maybe think about the emotional. Do I feel bad about doing this? And they have different ranks of severity. It might be feel extremely bad, or actually they just feel moderately bad, or it's a negative consequence. So it's not going to have a huge impact on their desire to use a different product or service when doing the job. We ask ourselves these kind of questions. What does a customer find too costly? These questions help you zone in on the pains that the customers have. What keeps them awake at night? What risks do they fear when using or purchasing the product? And we also need to look at the gains. What outcomes and benefits do the customers want when they're doing the jobs? Of course, they want it to actually do the job. If you're going to cut the lawn, you want the lawnmower to actually cut the lawn, cut the grass, make it shorter. And what are expected outcomes or desired outcomes? Maybe what are some of the unexpected outcomes, the nice features to have that they want in their products to delight the customer? And are these substantial, or are they insignificant to the customer? So we do need to rank the outcomes and benefits to understand whether they're really important to the customers when developing our products and services. And again, we can ask open-ended questions of the customers to find out the benefits and outcomes they're looking for. What savings would make you happy? What would make your life easier? What are you looking for? What do you dream about? What's the big achievements that you're looking for? How do you measure your success? So these are all questions that can help you to craft what the customer is looking for. And now we map them onto the customer profile. So we look at the customer job they're trying to do, whether it's functional, social, or personal. We look at the pains that they experience when trying to do that job, and we look at the gains that they're looking for. And remember, we've started with the customer. Always focus on the customer, have empathy, and get deep insights into what they need. And then we flip. We start to look at the value map. We start to develop our products and services. We don't do it first because it's guesswork. We understand the customer, and then we ask ourselves, which products and services we can offer that will help our customer to get the functional, social, or emotional job done and satisfy that basic need. And think about the products. Are they tangible? Are they digital, virtual? Are they intangible? Are they financial products? You need to rank all the products and services according to their importance to the customer. Are they crucial, or are they trivial? And then we need to develop our products and services to alleviate customer pains. We've understood all the pains that they have. How can we develop and curate our new products and services to alleviate those pains, reduce the negative emotions and the risks that they have? And again, remember, it's not just during the job to be done, but maybe it's before and after getting that job done as well. And again, ask ourselves these questions. Are we producing savings? Is our products and services making our customer feel better? How are we fixing those underperforming solutions that already exist out there? Each pain is indicate how often it occurs when they're doing the job. So we need to rank them as well in terms of relevance. Is it a substantial pain, or is it a significant pain? Focus on the substantial pains that they have. And then we need to think about how we can create the gains. Describe how our products and services can create customer gains. How do they create the benefits that they're looking for, the surprise, the delight, the social gains, the positive emotional state that we're looking for? And again, we can ask ourselves these questions. How do we produce outcomes your customers expect and go beyond their expectations? How can we make their job and life easier? How can we have a positive social consequence that the customer desires when using the product? How can we give the customer something they're truly looking for? And again, Is it substantial or is it insignificant to the customer when they're doing these jobs? Let me give you an example, and this is a value proposition canvas for Netflix. It's a great example of how to visualize fit between the customer need and the customer offering. Let's just break it down a little bit. On the right side, we have the customer profile, and this represents Netflix users, where they're trying to achieve the problems they face and really what they value. And the customer jobs are goals that they're trying to get done. They're trying to watch movies or TV shows to relax and be entertained. They're trying to select movies from different categories and ask friends and families for suggestions. The functional job is to find and watch content easily. The social job is to stay up to date and join in conversations around trending shows. And the emotional job is to unwind and feel entertained and enjoy some downtime. But the pains they have or the obstacles they face is that it's addictive. They can often end up disappointed when they can't find something good to watch, and they get confused by the rankings and the description system. And searching for movies, as we all know, can be exhausting. And these pains show that content discovery and quality perception are major user challenges. But the gains they're looking for, they want, the good quality that Netflix offers. It's convenient. I can watch what I want and when I want. It is a form of relaxation and entertainment, and I can control it. And I get access to varied and ad-free multi-content. And this reflects the desirability, the freedom, the variety of use. So now if we go over to the value map in the value proposition, this shows what they offer. In terms of product services, they offer a streaming platform with movies and TV shows. They have voice recognition and search tools, multicultural content, and a timer feature to control watch time. And so they're pain relievers to reduce customers' frustration. They provide better movie descriptions and surf navigation, improve ranking systems, features to manage screen time, easier discovery tools. And these directly tackle the issues of choice overload, confusing information, and difficulty in decision making. And then gain creators. Netflix provide experiences, custom experiences better. They provide companionship and cultural diversity. They offer fresh content and continuous experience. They deliver ad-free, high-quality entertainment. And they build emotional and social value because it's not just functional, it's part of a user's lifestyle and identity. And this canvas shows strong alignment, the jobs with the products, watching content easily, on-demand streaming, the pain with the pain relievers, too many choices, personalized recommendations, the gains with the gains creators, desire for a relaxation and quality, ad-free, diverse entertainment. So Netflix, through this value proposition canvas, succeeds because it balances convenience, emotional satisfaction, and continuous novelty, and it fits into the user's lives with both relaxation and companionship. So it's your turn. Have a go at your value proposition. Have a go at the canvas. Curate an understanding, get insight into your customers' jobs and the pains and the gains that they're looking for, and then start to develop your products and service to create gain for your customers and map directly your pains into the pains of the customers and get that fit that you're looking for. And then what do you do? Well, that's just one part. Once you've observed your customers and mapped their profile and designed your first value proposition, you're not done. You've only got a set of assumptions. To create something people actually want, you've got to test it. And because you've got to test whether your understanding is true. You've got to ask yourself, have we misunderstood the customer? Did we identify the wrong jobs, pains, and gains? Have we misinterpreted what we've observed? Are we reading too small into too small a number of interviews? Or is there bias in our feedback? Have we made the wrong assumptions? Did we assume what customers value most without any clear evidence? And so the goal of testing is to validate your fit, confirm your value map, the offer that you have, that it actually matches your needs of the customer profile. And you do this through experimentation, through interviews, through observations to refine your insights. You can develop prototypes or mock-ups to test reactions. You can create landing pages or minimal viable products to measure real behavior. You can survey and data to confirm patterns at scale. And this is a cycle. You design, you create your first value proposition, you test it by running quick, low-cost experiments. You learn and adjust based on what you discover, and you repeat. You keep iterating until there's clear evidence of a fit. So the key message here is your first version is what is I would call a hypothesis. It's not fact. You have to get out of the building, talk to customers, and test whether your story matches the customer's reality. Finally, let me just jump onto the value proposition statement. The value proposition statement is a clear, concise summary of the unique value your product, service, or business delivers to a specific customer segment and why they choose you over alternatives. It's a core message that links your understanding of the customer, their jobs, their pains, their gains, to what you offer, your products, your pain relievers, your gain creators. It explains how your product or service solves customers' problems and improves their situation, what specific benefits it delivers, and why it's better from what's already out there. So a good value proposition should be a clear statement, not full of jargon. It should focus on customer outcomes, not just your product features, and explain why you're different or better. And it needs to be specific. And it has a structure for your target audience, who the user need, the problem that they have. We offer a brief summary of your products and services that solve the problem or meets their needs directly. Here's some examples. For small businesses who can't afford to purchase their own high-speed printing equipment, we offer printing and digital documents that are delivered directly to their offices. Here's another one. For large businesses who need to know where their sales and marketing staff are working every day, we offer smartphone apps that automatically track their location. So you have a go. Think about your own value proposition statement. Remember, for your target audience, your customer, who has this problem, has a need, we offer the summary of your product and services that solves that problem or meets that need. It's powerful. Give it a go, and I look forward to seeing them.